Hi, welcome back. Sorry we've been away for a couple of days. We missed the match against Fulham, but today we are doing a preview of the match between Tottenham and Crystal Palace taking place at Selhurst Park. Kickoff Friday afternoon, or Friday evening actually, 8 p.m. Join me to do a preview of Tottenham on top. From the top to the Palace, we have with me on the other side, Chuma, regular and my co-host on this channel. Shuma will join me in taking apart the preview for the match. In the meantime, come on, you Spurs. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. My name is Soji from Come On You Spurs TV, and so is Chuma, co-host, who is joining us today as we do a preview of the match between Crystal Palace and Tottenham, or Tottenham on top, from top of the league to the Palace. How does it feel to be on top of the league, Chuma? How are you?
Absolutely. The view from up here is so lovely. It's wonderful. Yes, you're looking up.
We don't have a copyright infringement. We're lonely at the top. Lonely.
It is lonely.
Title on our mind. Title.
I put on the group earlier on that first we were like, let's see the first.
Let me just drop this here. For those who don't know what that means, right? You go and do a Google search of Ashake, A-S-A-K-E, right? The title track is Lonely at the Top. You go and find out what that means, okay?
Let's get into some housekeeping before we jump in. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, or if you're returning to the channel and haven't subscribed, just ask you to please subscribe. Smash the like button because the algorithm helps us see more. Comment, share with friends and family, and just let us know what you think about the episode. Let us know what you want us to talk about in future episodes. Well, and as always, come on, these.
Thanks for that. Thank you. All right, we've done the housekeeping. Let's go back and go into the house and see what we've done with the team. All right, Ange cooking was the last episode we had, and from mains to from starters to mains. And he served up a real good meal. I mean, coming out of a fuller match, and I mean, a lot of us had this, well, not trepidation, but that what we call cautious optimism, whereby you think, oh, okay, potential banana skin. Fulham haven't won against us in very, very many years, and with these things, all those things that records have to be broken. I just pray that that day is not all those days when the records are broken, So yes, there was that sort of element of, we lost there in the Carabao Cup, even though in the 90 minutes it was 1-1, but we lost on penalties, so we really haven't lost any match in 90 minutes this season. So yes, it was potentially banana skin. Well, guys came across or did a job on the day. I mean, and managed to comfortably win very, very comfortably as well. I mean, it could have been a lot more, people will go and say, okay, maybe Fulham shot themselves in the foot in the way that we come about our goals. But ultimately, it's a style of play that made those mistakes happen. It wasn't just random. And I remember one of the things Maddison said at the end of the match. He knew that young man from his days in Leicester. He used to play with him. He knows that he's left-sided. That if you can get him to his right, he will force him into an error, which is what he did. And that tells you the intelligence of the players that we've got. They actually know their onions. It's not random, they know what they're doing, You're shaking your head like you're going to add something to that.
No, I agree completely. And the thing for me was, first things first, they beat us in penalties, and it was a sort of blemish on Ange's season so far. And it's the first time, I think, after that League Cup exit, was the first time Spurs fans sort of turned. It was a little tiny mini micro turn, like, would have lost to win the League Cup, another cup competition. So I said in my head that Ange would pencil this game as, yes, we must destroy these guys to show that I could have won that game, but for circumstances at the time. But leaving that aside, we come into the game after the internationals and everything else. And same old thing. Certain players are already carrying certain injuries. We know Son's carrying an injury. We know Madison's not fully 100%. But it was to see the intensity they started the match. And then, of course, Bissouma's absence, huge for Spurs, because nobody plays like Bissouma at that sixth position, because you could either have someone who breaks lines or you can have someone who passes through. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is a passer. He passes, moves a bit, but but Bissouma dances through. He breaks the opposition. He just goes through them, goes them, drops shoulder here and there. And it's a whole different kind of dynamic. So everyone was wondering how this game turned out to be without Bissouma. And to be fair, Højbjerg did a very good job. He did a very good job. His passes, when he spread play, it was really lovely to watch.
Indeed.
The problem, I think, was, exactly. The problem, I think, was we weren't connecting passes as quickly as we used to in the game. But off the ball, pressing was excellent, especially in the first half. I think in the first half, we forced them into so many unforced errors and mistakes that, yes, it's like, yes, Spurs are on top of these guys. And, we had three or four chances. There's a Richarlison chance from Kulusevski's cutback that should have just been. he just placed it. He just placed it there. He did everything right. It just didn't go in. There's another chance with Udogie after our goal where Udogie had this brilliant 1-2 passing move and he got it and he just didn't pull the trigger. Kulusevski as well had another chance too where he just didn't pull the trigger and elected to pass. I was like, that was 4-5-0 in that first half.
Honestly, it was...
Calvin Bassey, we're Nigerian, so patriotic and all that. It's hard to see a Nigerian player, a Nigerian international, get done like that. But once you pinpointed him as a weakness, once we knew that he was weak, and he's left-footed. So once you play a left-footed player on the right side, everyone knows that he's either going to turn back to his left foot, or if you force him to his right, he's going to misplace the pass. So, like you said, they did their homework on him, and they knew he was that weak link, and he did. But the second half, we weren't as aggressive. We started trying too hard to pass our way through, and then once he made those changes, which he thought would elevate the team, it actually brought the team backwards, because certain players, Celso, as we spoke about now, Celso was trying too hard. He was trying too hard and he misplaced a lot of passes, and that could have led to something else. And last 15 minutes, Fulham came to the fore. They were now trying to press, trying to get a goal, to see what they could spark up. But all in all, it was a game we managed very well. We weren't really pushed, and we knew we could score. So we managed it very well, and our two best players, attacking players on the night, Madison and Son, score goals. Son is just literally 7 goals, 9 games, still pressing that question. Harry who?
This is it.
We love Harry.
This is it. So, I mean, you watch it as a neutral. I mean, you wouldn't have thought this was the same team that lost their top scorer to Bayern Munich in the close season. And like you said, a lot of pundits, a lot of people in the press, people within the game thought, okay, Tottenham will struggle this season. And I mean, it's been documented in several blogs, YouTube channels, in newspapers, everywhere. Everyone's singing Ange's praises, And of course, long may it continue in terms of, but he did criticize the team in the second half of that match and say that, look, I've not heard him, say anything negative about the team before. This is actually the first time I've seen him come out and say that, okay, maybe we could have done a lot better. And, well, he wasn't negative about it, but he sort of made the point clear that, look, that wasn't good enough, And it reminded me very well also about the match against Shakhtar Donetsk, when in the end of the first half, the crowd took their foot off the pedal, right? And he sort of said to himself, look, you don't do that. You just don't do that. You just keep pressing and keep pushing. And that, I'm not sure, I think next match, we're going to begin to see how that whole team, sort of takes on his philosophy. And, clearly, this is one of those. If you in record terms, let's just sort of just calm down. Got a little bit in record terms. He's now the manager that's got the best start possible in the history of the Premier League, and that itself is unbelievable in its own right. And not just the fact that he's done that, but the way he's done it, the way he's brought the team to play like he would want them to, like you know. And you said something in the past, which is like he hasn't had players this good. Well, no disrespect to other teams, right? So this is probably maybe Ange's in quote biggest team he's managed in terms of talent, in terms of place in the league, in terms of positioning and all that sort of thing, right? And it just shows that if your methods are right, they will work with any team, you know. And the better players you have, the better those methods will work. So that means, as someone was saying on a chat room as well, that look, everyone's saying Ange's copying Pep. I'm sorry, he's not copying anyone. He's doing his business, you know. And people are going to start to play like him very, very soon. Because if you think about it, right, Martin said something along the lines of, said, look, he doesn't believe in rigid positional play, right? If you drift to a position which is out of your normal characteristic position that you've been set for, somebody else fills in for you, right? Who regardless who that person is, within that same transition of play, so that you don't lose your shape and you're able to continue the attack. So it is attack, and that is just absolutely brilliant. You're something too.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I think you could, if you watch that game, you could sum it up in one particular chance where Tottenham are in possession, and then it goes to Richarlison on the left, and Richarlison cuts back, and he plays the ball into the box, and guess who's sliding in and just missed the ball? Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro is in a striking position.
Yeah.
And you're asking yourself, well, if you watch the game, Porro and Udogie are playing as 10s. Madison, who is the 10 or 8-10, is coming backwards to get the ball deep. It's like, yes, we know about inverted fullbacks, but we don't know about inverted fullbacks playing as 8s or 10s. It's just different, and it works so well because I think
it's totally befuddles the opposition. You know, I said I'm going to use that befuddles today. Like, might get it in.
Yeah, it does. And you know what, Gary O'Neill, I think he was reviewing that on Monday Night Football, and he said, apart from like the back two or the back five, once the two fullbacks move, he says those two defenders are the only ones that actually play their position.
Exactly, yes.
Goalkeeper. Everything else is fluid inside that frame. He said that's what's killing teams, because you don't know who to follow. You don't know how to say, well, Mark Porro or not.
And it's so difficult to sort of, like you said, especially if you've been trained in football terms, to either keep an eye out for a particular player or someone in a particular position, right? And when that person moves out of that position, it's like, what do I do next? You know, because sometimes, like we just mentioned just now about the young man who plays for Fulham, the Nigerian sharp, what's his name, Nambasi, right? Imagine somebody moves from Bassi's position, right? Or moves from Bassi's position and moves into the position that you're looking at. Okay, fine. Bassi plays with the left foot, you know. And the other plays with the right foot. All you learn is about Bassi, you know. As long as you moves there, it just totally confuses your position. We have that ability now to sort of change things against the opposition, so that even though people always say, I hear this thing when people say to you that, oh, it's only Fulham, oh, it's only Sheffield United, oh, it's only Burnley. But there's no such thing as it's only Burnley, it's only Crystal Palace, it's only Fulham anymore in the league, right? Because as you know, I mean, City have lost twice this season. Who did they lose to?
Yeah. They lost to, I can't remember who they lost to, but not any of the big boys.
Absolutely.
Apart from us.
Excuse you, you call us now. Please, let's just get that. I know what you know what I'm talking about. Essentially, what I'm saying is that there's no guaranteed result in any match, you know, and you've got to go on the day and end the points. And that's what the guys have just been doing, you know. And I mean, like I said, this was the first time I'm hearing Ange being negative about his players, you know. Or well,
but we didn't go individual. See, that's different. So the difference is, unlike other managers that throw players on the, he said it generalized. So that way he's keeping individuals safe, but at the same time, letting everybody, you guys didn't perform, and you don't want to get to the point where we're top of the league and we're getting complacent. It's actually at the top where you have to work harder than you did when you're trying to get it. And I respect that so much. I think he said it's the sloppiest yesterday. Like I love the fact you alluded to Shasha on it, because that's exactly the same thing. They were playing to keep the 1-0, and he's like, no. I don't keep. I'm going with. I'm going with. Not passes. Everything will keep pressing. So our passing went down. Pressing. That's just what that's what you increase about the second goal for Anderson. Our pressure is still very, very. But in terms of the passes, they were big loose. People were overthinking, overplaying, and it's to get back to basics, because we have a shorter turnaround for the game on Friday against Palace. Palace yet again another London match, and people don't understand. Like a lot of people don't understand how London, as you think, was Palace is not much. Palace South from Fulham was West. No, London. Just something about those games made the opposition just stare up. Like
every one steps of the game 10 notches, you know. They start the game.
You know,
which brings us down now to the next phase in this episode, which is actually to look at the preview the match against Palace, right, and say where Palace this season, they're not doing that great in terms of league position, but Palace have a good team. You know, they have a lot of talent in that team. They have a lot of people who can cause you problems as well. They have even a strong defense as well. You know, so there's a lot of stuff that goes into this match. Jedinak, who used to play for Palace, I mean, he's been like a fixture on Palace for a very long time, is now our coaching team. You know, and I love Jedinak in back in the day, because when he was on what might call one of the unsung heroes, you know, who was just so effective. I've never ever seen him play a bad game. Seriously, when he was at Palace, you know, someone I remember him very well, really because of his name. You know, it was an unusual name, right? And he always had that beard, you know, so
very, very distinctive.
Yeah, very distinctive. And this was pre-COVID, so I remember him very, very well from
yeah, it's very cute. Yeah, it's it almost reminds you of Boy.
Yeah. So yeah, and the fact that he's Aussie and he's now in Ange's coaching team, you know. So there's a lot of stuff we're gonna see there. There's Olise, there's Eze, there's
yeah.
Gregory, the England defender, you know.
What? Eze. Actually, that's you come look at the poor performances of Palace, and I think it's sort of has to do with the fact that Eze isn't playing. Olise had been injured as well, and those are the two creative advice ever since Wilfred Zaha left. Yeah. Also, you know, I'm not a huge fan of Roy Hodgson, and not because he's a good manager, but I think with young players, I think he's very good, very experienced. With particular safety, we have young players that really want to have open mind. I don't think he's that guy, and that could play that out as well, because you saw what Villa did to them.
Yeah,
Villa were very uncompromising, and Villa and I look at us and Villa, we're sort of on the same kind of trajectory. We have two managers that are very clear about their philosophies, and wait. So I'm not saying we're going to do what Villa did to them, but I'm looking at it, and also this criticism I just criticism at the end of the film means, you know how the training session that was.
Yeah, which so kind of what you just said just now about Roy Hodgson and his what you might call old school perspective of how he does his training and how, I mean, the team performance, and Ange kind of alluded to that as well when I think a long interview question, and someone asked him along the lines of saying, look, this year, I think I can't remember what question he was answering, but he was saying, look, when he was the player, right? You didn't question the coach. The coach says run 10 kilometers, just run, you know? You just do it running. You don't even ask why or why you're doing it. Just go and do the running. But these days, young players want to know why they're running, right? What the benefits are to them, the kind of competitions you can get. So you have to adopt a totally different approach to ensure that you get them to do what you want them to do with a view to achieving the best result for the team, and for themselves as well.
Very true.
So you have to make them see the benefit of what they're doing and how it benefits them. So in that way they can get a lot of buy-in. So anytime you talk to Ange, right, or you listen to him speak, you kind of hear all sorts of pearls of wisdom, that are so effective. And that's why a lot of people love you so much, because you think to yourself, how can you hate on this guy? Right. So you're having all sorts of positive vibes coming from him, not just from what he says off the cuff, right? But also from how he answers questions and his whole body language, demeanor, and everything about him just speaks good vibes, And I mean, it's the best time to be a Tottenham fan. Honestly, it's just amazing, just amazing. I think, if anything, people have always given Daniel Levy a very hard time when it comes to his decision making and the choices he made in the past. And when things go wrong, ultimately they heap all the abuse and negative vibes on him. I think this is one time when you have to sort of take him to one side and give him a bloody round of applause. I mean, he's got this right and it's absolutely fantastic. What do you think?
No, I fully agree. I think it's similar to the Pochettino arrival as well. The manager who was least fighty, but on paper, based on merit, had done so much to transform players previous to coming to the club. When you got the quote-unquote serial winners in Mourinho and Conte, these are guys that they function best with ready-made squads or squads that you're going to pump in a lot of capital to make ready to challenge. Tottenham have never had that, and Tottenham's and ENIC and Daniel Levy, their model wasn't that. They went against type. So to see him come back and get Ange, and Ange, of course, there's nothing like having somebody that actually wants the job. Who feels your job is the best thing that ever happened to him. We know that in our own lives. Looking at like your first job, you're like, oh my God, I'm actually going to be earning money doing this thing. You come to work on time. You're invested in work, and you're like, this is what I need to do. I have to do it at this time. And to him, this is the biggest challenge Ange has ever had. And he's breaking records right, left, and center, but I don't think those records matter to him. He just sees this as, I have to do the best that I can. And it just so happens that as he's doing this, Tottenham are gaining from this. The players are gaining from it as well. I think it was Bobby Robson that made the joke that if you coach English players and tell them to run through a brick wall, they'll run through a brick wall, no questions asked. If you say that to Spanish players, they would run through the brick wall, and if the brick wall hurt them, they'll now look at you and they won't trust you because you've allowed them get hurt. If you said it to Dutch players, run through the brick wall, the Dutch players will ask you what the wall signifies, how thick is the wall, what other options do we have about going through the wall. The Dutch players would question everything, and here's the reason total football, they are very gifted players, and that's why their camps always fall apart. Every time you have a Dutch squad, guaranteed they'll get to a tournament and they'll be infighting because Dutch players are always questioning everything. So yeah, with someone like Roy Hodgson, he's old school and he's respected. So you do what he says. But if you look at the football Palace are playing at the moment, like, they have very good players. And it's just a question of, a lot of them now in hindsight that say, why did they sack Patrick Vieira? Yet these are the same fans that called for Vieira's head after a while.
Yeah, that's football for you.
Vieira had them in attacking football. It is football. We're talking about Bill Kenwright yesterday. May his soul rest in peace. Bill Kenwright, Everton chairman, passed away yesterday. That man was, routinely abused.
I'm vilified, yeah.
Online by Everton fans. And here we are praising him, and you realize how much effort and time this man put into his club. So I'm not saying the same for Daniel Levy in terms of that, but you have to give Daniel Levy props where it's needed. And to say he's done well by this guy. It's got months coming now. They've gotten a technical director as well. So now they actually have a unit performing while the club is rising. That's all you ask from your club.
Absolutely. I mean, kudos to Daniel, kudos to Ange, and kudos to the boys who given us a really good time. And long may it continue. We got a chance to get 5 points clear. Do you think we're going to do it?
I think so. I think that press conference was Ange's mind game version of getting that win against. I think if we just won the game and he praised the players, I think we would have been a bit complacent against Palace. But they're going to steamroll. They're going to try to steamroll Palace in first half. I honestly believe that. I think they're just going to say, okay, you know what, we're going to be as clinical as possible and take our chances. I would really like to see Kulusevski pull the trigger sometimes. He's doing everything well. I don't think he's playing poorly. If you check his stats, he's high up in everything. It's just he needs to start scoring now.
And Richarlison played a great game as well. I mean, even though he didn't score a goal, he did play really well, you know?
He got an assist, and I think playing him on the left, and I remember I said that before, that I would love to see him on the left before this move happened. I said, just put him on the left, put Son there, let them interweave if they have to. I think it's really taking a lot of pressure off him, and he's doing really, really, really well.
Yeah, we could do it. We could do a whole player assessment thing. I know.
Yeah, you know, but also, you know, we're all holding our breaths, waiting for the return of Bentancur as well. Because my goodness, I've missed Bentancur. I'd really love to see him get involved in some way, shape, or form in the next 4 weeks.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. What do you scoreline prediction?
3-0 to Spurs.
3-0 Tottenham. You also have that the scorers?
Son scores again. Son scores against Palace. Yeah, he always scores. So Son scores. Maybe Richarlison, maybe Kulusevski. So I'm holding out for Son, Richarlison, Kulusevski.
I go for Richarlison hat trick.
Optimus Primus to the Nigerian Optimus Primus is even far deadlier.
I know, right? Yeah, so 3-0.
Wow.
That's what the scoreline we expect to be. And still not go 5 points clear. Everyone looking down everyone from Mount Everest, you know. Like I said earlier at the start of this program, if you haven't had a chance to know what lonely at the top, lonely. Title on our mind. Title.
You should put a link into the description.
Yeah, I think I'll put a link to that. Okay, so that people can go have a look and see what the actual sound is, right? And then no copyright infringement intended on this one. Okay.
Go.
Right. Thank you so much, guys. It's been lovely having you. Chuma, as always, you are simply the best. Take good care. Come on, you Spurs.
Go on, you Spurs.
That's